Nobody partied before a fight like you did.
You understand? I didn't want to be just another boxer. I can't be just another one of y'all. I got to be something different. I was trying to keep that cool head. I was trying to be the guy that, okay, yeah, we're going to go box. When I got to the press conference and I saw him on the other side, it went off right there.
What do you think your career looks like if you didn't move up, maybe to heavyweight?
Boy, there's so many lessons that he could have learned from me that would have probably saved his life in that fight.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
When you and I first met, you weren't a big UFC fan, but you were at the Sphere last weekend.
Here's what the problem with boxing.
Yo, we here. We in the headquarters of Overdogs Podcast. Man, we got a legend in the building. Unbelievable to be sitting here with Roy Jones Jr. Ice Bagz is here too. I can't believe I'm here. Low key, I made it all. How y'all doing?
We good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, man. I'm living, man. I'm chilling. Fam's good.
I'm glad to be here with you as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and Ice Bagz.
This is going to be my favorite podcast, I think.
I'm glad to hear that.
Out of a lot of them, we've had a lot of bangers in the past. This is going to be my favorite. I've known you personally for a couple of years. I've got a lot of respect for you. I've told you that behind the scenes. And I've been waiting to do this for a while.
I know.
And we got a lot of stuff cooking. You got a lot of stuff cooking as well. You always do. You always do. But yeah, let's hop into it. So, Roy, obviously, like I said, you're one of my favorite people, man. You've been in the game a long time. You're one of the most savvy people in the boxing industry, in the fight industry. Tell me a little bit about. Obviously, everybody knows who you are, but tell me a little bit about the history of Roy Jones. You don't have to go too deep into it, but how to get started. How is the guy from Pensacola that became so famous still the guy in Pensacola that's just like he was back when he was, 16 years old?
Well, it all starts with being grounded and who you idolize coming up. So we don't idolize many people as we shouldn't, but Muhammad Ali was somebody who got my attention. When he got my attention, he kind of held it because not only did he talk, but he backed up what he said. And so in doing that, I always felt like I could do that. I could talk, but I could back it up. But more so, I can get under people's skin and they can't get under mine. So it was about mind control. When I figured that out, I knew I wanted to box. So being as humble as I was from Pensacola, I would ask my father, but he waited till I got about 10. Then he let me start. And when I started, it just took off from there.
Your skills, when it came to talking, sometimes I talk myself into a hole sometimes. And sometimes you could see where fights maybe are won or lost in press conferences. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the talking and the confidence in talking, your skills definitely helped you have the confidence to say the things you wanted to say.
Exactly. So my skill level, because of the work my father made me put in early, always gave me full confidence because there's nothing that you can throw at me in a boxing ring that I haven't prepared for. Mm-hmm. You understand me? So when you get that prepared for everything, it's like what you do. You get prepared for everything coming at you, you're not going to show me nothing that I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. So I got full confidence that anything you bring down my street, I'm going to take it out.
What did that work look like, though? What was that?
Man, them was 8-hour days, 9-hour days. I mean, I used to get home from school at, say, 3:30. My daddy would get home by 5. We trained from 6 to probably 12, at least. On the weekend, we would start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and go to 1 o'clock in the morning.
At what age?
This is at 10.
Damn.
Yeah, this is at 10. This is why I try to tell people. People always try to say that you're the most gifted boxer we ever seen. How is that a gift? All the hours I got
That was torture.
You feel me? That's not a gift. That was straight torture. How is that a gift? So don't get me wrong. God blessed me with a lot of things because, fortunately, I've been boxing. I'm 55. I've been boxing 45 years, and I still can sit here and have a conversation with you guys. Knock on wood. You understand me?
Yeah,
that's
right.
saying something.
Yes, sir.
So God had to give me something because I wouldn't be able to do this now if I wasn't special. But at the same time, He also gave me someone to force me to put in the work, to force me to learn the game from every aspect of the game. And this is what I teach guys. If you're going to come into boxing, you can't learn just how to fight inside, just how to fight outside, just how to use your left or just how to use your right. You got to learn it all because you never know what you might need on the job.
All right. At 55 now, obviously you said it wasn't a gift, it was torture, because it was. But knowing now what you know, do you look back at it like it was a gift? I know you and your dad had some tumultuous times and things like that, but do you look at it like it was a gift a little bit, like the way you were pushed, or no?
It was a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Because he pushed me to make me do something different, but it's like once you get to a certain point, you got to stop. You understand me? So you can't keep pushing me when I get to an age to where now I got to go out and start making my own decisions, paying my own bills. You push me to get me to a point where I understand what you're trying to teach me. But once I get to that age, you got to kind of stand on the side of me and walk with me. You can't just push me no more because I'm not going to be pushed anymore after that. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure. This is one of the things I love about Roy. And I spent probably a good solid like 6 weeks with you training. But the thing that I noticed about the way you taught your guys, your pros, was you were tough as hell, right? You call them out in a second.
Of course, got to.
But at the same time, you also were a little bit nurturing, to be honest. You were a little bit nurturing, and you really took it to the next level of like you trying to teach somebody to be a man and beyond boxing.
Yes. And if you don't teach them how to be a man or things beyond boxing, then what are you doing? You're wasting their time. I mean, how many kids nowadays truly have a father to look up to? You know, most of us come from places of broken families, or we just don't really talk to our dads, or our dads don't have time. Some have dads that are in jail. Some have dads that are on drugs. But the majority of kids nowadays, especially black kids, don't have a father figure. So if you're going to be given that opportunity by God that you can lead people, then to me, you should always try to lead them in a positive direction, not only for the sport that you're doing, but for life.
Because boxing only lasts so long.
Only lasts so long, unless you Roy Jones.
I
had to throw that in.
Of course. Mike,
when you're a fighter, you want to fight for a while, you know what I mean, for a long time, or it's never going to leave you.
That's right.
Like my dad's an old sucker, and he, you know, we ain't in the best relationship at this point. There was a time that came that I was like, you know, there were some things he taught me. Right. We ain't have a lot, but that alone even taught me some stuff. But then when I tried to mend the relationship, I was like, oh, you still a punk. Like, you still talking shit. And I'm doing it. Like, I've done good for myself. So I'm waiting. I know it's going to take 20 years. I hope that me and my son have a great relationship in 20 years. Right now, it's a little tough. I'm a little hard on him. He's only 3, and I'm sometimes a little hard on him. I just want him to see that I gave him things. Like, I tried to give him a good life, and I tried to take him nice places and allow him to see that there's classy stuff out here. I don't know if you know when you're young. I definitely didn't know how broke we were. I was living every day like it was my best day, you know. So, you know, but I look forward to, you know, just every day I got to teach him, you know, something.
Let me say this to you, though. What you got to remember, you see how you and your father are right now? You don't want to be that way with your kid.
I know.
Right? So you got to start at an early age teaching yourself to not be so overbearing. I know. Because one day he's going to be a grown man, too. And one day you want him to come to you and say, hey, Dad, I got a situation, what do I do? You don't want him to be like, I can't go to my dad, he's going to tell me this, or he ain't going to listen to me, he's going to just tell me what I should do. You don't want that.
Right.
So if you can, not everybody can, but if you can, you want to discipline, you want to raise properly, you want to show them the things that you didn't have, but you can't overdo it.
Right.
Because if you overdo it, you're either going to make him hate you, or you're going to ruin the kid. Right. And it's a very thin line between that. I don't hate my dad. I really appreciate my dad for what he did for me. It's just that I know, just like you just said about your dad, my dad never learned how to respect me as a man. He always want to treat me like I'm always his kid. Mm-hmm. That can't work. Because as a grown man, you got your own kids. You're not going to take your kid to your dad and your dad talk to you like your kid, like you're talking to your kid.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's not going to happen like that. That's disrespect to you. Yeah. You understand me? So
It's an interesting take because I don't give a shit how old you get. It's still your kid. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you got to treat them like an adult, and they got to make their own decisions. Because if they don't, are they really an adult?
That's what I'm saying. So if you can't get them up old enough, teach them, raise them up, make them an adult, and then trust what you did, then that's on you.
That's right.
You understand, man? That's what I felt like. I felt like, wow, you raised me up all these years. You taught me all this stuff, all these good things about boxing. But personality-wise, I'm starting to learn some different things, more about you than me. Because what you're telling me to be prepared for, you're doing it. So you basically teaching me that I shouldn't deal with you.
On this episode of Fatherhood Therapy, we're giving shout out to Floyd Mayweather and Roger Mayweather, his father. You know, they've done a great job as a team. They really taught the techniques. No, man, all men need that, man, regardless whether we make a joke out of it or not. Damn, man, we all got to stand up sometimes, be men about it.
Damn right.
Exactly.
And I think you touched on a really important point. Like, a lot of guys now growing up don't have father figures.
At all.
And so I'll just say this. The first time I ever went and trained with Roy, he was like, yo, you can come train with me, but I'm in Tampa. And I'm like, so I fly down to Tampa. And he's training at a fucking rehab facility, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I expected going into fancy-ass gym, you know what I'm saying? Nah, he's at a rehab facility because he's back in the community, giving back, training kids that don't have the money to sit here and pay $3,000 a month or whatever to go into these gyms. And I was like, fuck, that hit me early on. I'm like, fuck, this cat's for real. Like, It ain't about the money. It's about, you know, he's got his money, he's got his own endeavors and his money, but like it's about getting into the community and teaching these kids that don't have father figures and helping them to become men when they don't have potentially the same opportunity that some of us did.
Or they don't have somebody that they idolize enough to teach them the right way.
Right.
So if I get their attention, if I get your kid's attention, I want to do the same thing for your kid that I would want you to do for my kid.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Some of the best, toughest fighters or toughest gyms out there got duct tape all around the bags falling apart. That's what it's about.
Buddy.
And I got people that'll send me free stuff for them. They're gonna use it till they can't use no more. Then I get another. Mm-hmm. Tear it up first, or they ain't going nowhere.
First time I went to his gym, of course, I didn't know what to expect. I drive up in the fucking country for 90 minutes. I drove 90 minutes there, 90 minutes back every day, and I pull up on the farm. I didn't know what the fuck. There's like 6 buildings, and it's a chicken coop. And I'm like, it can't be the chicken coop. Half of it was a fucking chicken coop. It was a gym. There was cops running around on the mat when I walk in. I'm like, no way. But that's the way he trains.
He said,
bro,
this
it's
is
gritty.
Dream come true.
Yeah. No diddy. But I was like, this is some gritty ass fucking Rocky type shit right here. For real. And what do you think? What keeps you maintaining that type of training versus the pretty gyms at this point?
Because, like I told you before, where you come from means everything. If you can remain who you were when you was young and hungry, you were a different person. So you don't let life change you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I changed life. I made history in life, but I didn't let life change me. So my goal was to change life, but not let it change me. So everything I got now, all the chickens, all the animals, all that stuff I wanted when I was a kid. So it's no different. My guys, I make the young guys go out and catch chickens. And they say, why do you do this? Because you know this good too. When you're going to set a guy up, you can't get a guy where he's at. You got to get him where he's going.
Bro, that's the real Rocky training, bro.
This is no joke. This is no joke.
I never caught a chicken. I need to do it.
Listen. Come to my yard. I'll show you. People take my love for chickens the wrong way because chickens taught me a lot. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to live without them because they are so detrimental in me learning how to be a winner, how to be proud, how to be like the champ of champs. My dad would take that away from me because he didn't want me to walk around with my chest up, my head up, my chest out. But the chickens taught me how to walk around with your head up and your chest out. You know what I'm saying? Even no matter what's going on around you, you still walk around with your head up and your chest out because that makes people pay attention. Wow, who is this?
All right.
That's interesting.
How many chickens you think Mike would have had to catch to beat Jake?
Mike, one. Just one.
One chicken?
Just one.
You should have come over and caught a chicken,
Just
man.
one.
Oh, man.
All right. No.
Actually though, I was kind of wishing he would come back down there.
That's what I said.
Because there was a lot more that I could have helped him out with.
Yeah, I
as
believe
far as
it.
fighting Jake. So I really wish he would have came. But I am friends with Jake too, so I couldn't call him and say, "Hey, come down here," because I like Jake as well. I ain't got no beef with Jake either. So,
Yeah.
but if he would have came, yeah, I would have definitely taught him. But I wish he would have come. 'Cause he really has a pretty good boxing game.
He does.
People don't understand that he has a really good boxing game. If I could have added just a few elements to it, it would have made a difference for him in that fight. Yep.
I said that. I tried to set it up.
Yep.
I tried to set it up.
Yep.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
They got the family, and then right before the fight, and then when you're about to fight, like all these people come around
I know.
trying to jump in there.
And that's why
I should have worked with Lubinson.
And that's why I didn't try to call, because I knew that everybody was going to come.
I should have made it happen, but I also had this thought of, making it happen, and the 5 bare knuckle fights that I had, I put plans together myself, and I invited people from certain gyms, and I paid them for coming to spar with me, and then this time I kind of, got told, maybe don't do that with this person, or don't go with the MMA fighters, and I allowed myself to be told that because I was a little bit tired.
Right.
But instead of, because before that fight, and with all my bare knuckle fights, I was telling myself, I can't say no to a challenge.
Of course.
I have to accept all these challenges, and I have to be ferocious with them.
Hey, that's a fighter's mentality. You know that. We not turning down no challenges, especially if it's a good one.
And then when the big Jake fight came, it was like I'm prissy and like I'm bougie now, and like I'm finna relax a little bit more, put my feet up. I thought I was in shape. Before that fight, I had a few long runs that I did, and I may have done them a little late in my camps. Like I did a couple 5-mile runs, and I was like, damn, man, my calves. Mile 2, I'm into mile 2. I'm like, my calves are just burning. I was pausing my times, and I would walk for a little bit, and then I would turn it back on and go hit it. And then another time I did like 4 miles straight, and then I walked the last mile or two. It was like 4 to 6 miles. I was like, damn, man, I don't know why this is happening. And then in the fight, I was having trouble finding my legs at times. That's what really happened. I got up the last time, and then the ref was like, step over here. And I was like shaking, and I took a step, and I just stumbled, and that was it. Yeah. I was mad, too. After he got me the last time, I was like, I'm finna get you. I promise. I swear I'm going to get you.
All right. Look, that's the last Jake comment I'm going to make on this fucking show.
Yeah,
I just had to get the chicken joke in. I had to
it.
get the chicken joke in.
We could fight PFL.
But now,
or
PFL,
DBX,
dirty boxing, bring
BBC, whatever you want to
we
call
started,
it. Since you keep changing
whatever.
anyways.
Look, the people will name it. The people will name it. But we started off pretty heavy here on the podcast. Let's get it back to fight talk.
Okay.
Let's talk about when you and I first met. You weren't a big UFC fan, but you were at the Sphere last weekend instead of Canelo and Berlanga, instead of some other stuff. What has something changed there that you become a fan? Like, what is it?
No, nothing changed. It's just here's what the problem is, and here's what the problem with boxing is. Boxers want to fight fights that they're almost guaranteed to win. So with that being said, if I go to the Canelo-Berlanga fight, I already know Canelo going to beat Berlanga. I already know the two dudes before supposed to beat the guys that fight. The only question was how was Danny going to fare against Lundy? It was Lundy Lara, because Lara's 41. But if Lara is anything of himself, then it shouldn't be able to catch him. And that's what happened. So it's like everything at the boxing match was predictable. Now, I've always been a UFC fan. Don't get it wrong. It's just that boxing is my sport. When I know what's going to happen, why I need to go see that? The Spirit was a one-time event. They said one-on-one. They said they're not doing it no more. So if they did a one-time event there, and all the fights basically were 50-50, because out of 8 fights, 5 of them were upsets. Yeah. So how could you not want to go somewhere where you don't know what's going to happen, as opposed to going down here when I know what's going to happen? What, I'm going to be mad at Berlanga because he couldn't catch Canelo? Mad at Canelo because he did knock Berlanga out? No.
You already knew.
You feel me? You already know it, so why go?
You already knew. And that's one thing I love about it, and that's why I say you're probably one of the most savvy boxing minds in the game today, and probably for a long time. But every time I hit you with a fight, I'm like, yo, what do you think's going to happen? This motherfucker calls it. I swear to God, calls it every fucking time. Every fucking fight calls it.
Well, the only thing I caught about Dubois and Joshua today, I said if it's a knockout, Dubois gonna win. If it's a decision, Joshua gonna win.
Interesting.
And Dubois knocked him out.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, boy, that was something. I opened Instagram and saw that. I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry I didn't buy the fight. But I knew y'all was going to post it anyways. And Joshua was looking like it wasn't so bad to lose in boxing match sometimes, you know, because he was one of the GOATs.
Let me tell you about that, though. Once again, like I told you about them chickens, here's what you know. And I used to learn this from back in the day when it was illegal to let them compete, right? The most dangerous bird is a bird either with one eye or an injured bird, one that's hurt. Joshua hurt Dubois first and went to go get him and threw a right uppercut right in front of him. He's dangerous. He's desperate because he feels like he's on the verge of going out. So when he do throw one, he gonna put everything he got in that one. And that's what happened today. Another chicken lesson.
And I mean, they heavyweight fighters. One punch
don't
changes
take
a
one
lot.
100%.
But if you're hurt, you're gonna throw it even more intensity.
Yeah, you damn right.
It was an
You
ugly
fight for your
old
life.
man,
You
right?
feel me?
It
You
was
feel me?
ugly too.
It worked. It worked. I want to know one thing though,
Yeah.
because when we were in Dubai, you were talking to Joshua potentially about working with him. What do you think Joshua would have been in that fight if he would have come and worked with you for 6 months at your camp?
First, you learn a lesson that you don't run up on a wounded animal because a wounded animal is a dangerous animal. You know, you can catch a squirrel. If you hurt that squirrel and you got to try to go grab him, the squirrel gonna fight you harder than he ever would have if he was on his own. So you don't run up on a wounded animal. There are so many lessons that he could have learned from me that would have probably saved his life in that fight. Because A, you don't run up on a wounded animal. B, when a man is in your distance, use your arm, use this to keep that distance so that he can't just come to your face. Don't be trying to stick with your hands down. You're too big for that. Don't take but one punch in the heavyweight division, in the pros. You understand me? The gloves are too small. Don't do that. Block with your arms, your elbow. So there's so many things I could have did, but where the mistake he made for me, the reason I didn't want to get into that debacle was because when I asked him about it, he talked about it and he said he wanted to come see me. So I said, okay, but then when I talked to him again, he was out with Derrick James and Earl Spencer's guy. So I said, you know what, if y'all getting along good, don't even worry about it because I don't want you to be confused. I just want you somewhere where you're comfortable, where you can learn. If you're feeling good with Derrick James, just stay. And I kind of backed off of it, and I'm glad I kind of did.
Yeah, get it.
Well, you know what's coming in boxing, and we could get your predictions. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
You fought Mike a couple years ago.
4 years ago, to be exact.
I bought that one.
You did? That's
I did
good.
buy that one.
Tell you like this. Mike is still as powerful as ever. Now, that was 4 years ago. Anything can happen in 4 years. But when I was in there with him, he's still as powerful as ever. What I think is, just my humble opinion, I feel like what he'll do is go out, test Jake, see what Jake got, see can Jake hit him. If Jake can't hit him, he'll just start pushing the issue, just trying to make Jake fatigued. Because in the fight with, what's your boy you was just talking about?
Nate
Diaz, he got really, really fatigued. Really, really fatigued. He tried to take Nate out and kind of shot his wad. Only thing bad about it, Nate's wad was shot too. So it was like they tell you, 2 mules is a good race. You know,
That's right.
And so I think Mike gonna go out, see what he got, and if he's dangerous, then Mike might know he got to strike early and go and get him out of there. Don't play with him. But if he can see everything coming, then I think Mike will just take him the distance just to make him see how fatigued he's gonna get.
I think Mike too. I think Mike's gonna be just like it's like riding a bike for him.
Savvy.
I mean, you guys looked great when you guys fought.
Yep, I'm telling you, he's still
A
powerful.
lot of experience in that ring, and you know he's a lot smarter than I am for sure when it comes to boxing technique.
Been doing it his whole life. I mean, one of the
He's
best
not gonna
ever.
feel overwhelmed to try and push the action.
Not at all.
That's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
to see. And you know, speaking of the old guys, it was unfortunate, but I also think Jake and Vitor Belfort are 2 different characters. So Vitor fought Holyfield, and I think Holyfield and Mike are 2 different characters as well. Holyfield's not the same Holyfield at all that he was when he fought Mike. Mike's the same guy.
It's kind of like the old bull, young bull story, right? We walk down. We walk down and get them all.
Better believe it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this for a little bit because me and Mike were talking earlier today. And Mike was like, I think Roy might have the best highlight tape in history. So walk us back all right, I want to know a couple of things. A, what was your favorite win? B, what was the win that you knew I can go from really fucking good to one of the best ever?
From really good to one of the best ever was when I fought James Toney. Because, and I'm not hating on nobody, but when you fight a guy when he's at the pinnacle of his career, now you're doing something. You can beat him when he at his best. Now you did something. I fought James Toney when James Toney was at his best. 44-0. You know what I'm saying? He was pound for pound the best fighter in boxing at the time.
And you moved up.
And you went up in weight class.
And destroyed him.
Yeah, exactly. But
Light heavyweight?
I was super middle. I was a middleweight champ. I went to super middle.
Okay.
So for me, I did that. He was 44-0. People always get mad, but I tell them, I said, it's simple. Look at Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin, they was talking about how good he was, and he was good. Don't get me wrong. But he stayed behind Andre Ward for 8 years. One weight class above him. And every time Floyd retired, Andre Ward was pound for pound number one. He stayed right there one weight class below him for 8 years. How do you not go take that challenge? You don't challenge yourself. I got to challenge myself. So when they robbed me the first fight, which probably was my favorite fight, the first loss I got was they disqualified me against Montel Griffin. My favorite fight probably was that second fight because that's the only time in my boxing career that I really went into a ring to hurt somebody. Ooh. And I really went in and hurt him that night. So when I hit him with that first left uppercut, I'm glad he didn't get up because if he would have, it probably going to get even worse. So because the first time I felt like you played me, you went down like I hit you hard, which I really didn't hit you hard, but you went face first to the mat, and you had like you couldn't get up, couldn't move when your corner told you to. But the second time when I hit you for real, it didn't work like that. You understand me? So I was angry because they gave me a loss. I just got robbed at the Olympics a few years back.
That's right.
Now y'all gonna give me a disqualification loss? I wasn't trying to do nothing crazy to the guy, but all right, that's what y'all want to do. They turned the switch on, and that's what happened.
Because he took a knee in that fight, and you hit him, and he said he couldn't come out, right?
Yeah, but all the referee had to do was say, stop.
Stop.
If the referee say stop, I can walk away. Because now, if you come up and try to hit me, you violated what the referee said. But I'm not going to stop until the ref says stop.
All right. So I know, like, one of your qualities is always coming in with a cool head and collected and ready. Because I'll say this. If you go back and watch your tapes walking into an arena, there's a switch that goes off in your eyes. You can see it. I'm telling you. And it's like, boom, it's game time, goes in. Do you think that was the one fight that you went in with just fucking bad intentions at that point?
Oh, yeah, that's the second.
You just said, fuck it.
It was bad from the get-go. I was trying all the stuff that they taught me, that they tell me in training. I was trying to keep that cool head. I was trying to be the guy that, okay, yeah, we're going to go boxing. Nah. As soon as I got to the press conference, I didn't want to go to the press conference. When I got to the press conference, and I saw him on the other side, it went off right then.
Nobody partied before a fight like you did. Like you was out there, your songs are playing, or the rappers are out there. You jigging on the damn, like you were coming down on a platform. And then the moves that you pulled off in the fights, the way that you faked people out, the hands behind the back. Oh man, the speed, what was your most valuable attribute, like footwork or your hand speed or?
My most valuable attribute was my hand speed. My hand speed was so crazy that it's like I could sit there in front of them, flinch at them, they don't move, I'm gonna get them next time. I was that fast. I could catch a fly off their nose.
I saw
Before
it.
they get their hands up, I was that fast. So that was one of my best God-given attributes was my hand speed.
Yeah, but you got that through all that work.
That too, yes, that too.
And the
Couldn't have
mental.
just been
To
catching
me, it's
chicks.
got to be the mental.
Well, it is mental too, but when it's like I said, preparation makes for great mental.
Right.
When you prepare for
you're
everything, how they gonna stop you? And that's what I was. I was prepared for everything. So it's like, how y'all gonna beat me? No way. Just what can I do next? So my main thing was, and this is what I'm still looking for, and I finally found a guy, I think Thursday night, that can duplicate what I was trying to give people in the boxing ring. If you came to watch Roy Jones fight, I wanted you to remember what you saw Saturday night, because the barbershop usually closed on Monday. But Tuesday, I need y'all still to be talking about what I did Saturday. You understand me? Like how you said now about the moves, the hand behind the back and all that. All that was done so that come Tuesday, when the barbershop opened back up, everybody remember what happened Saturday night, and they still gonna talk about it.
You damn right.
And that's what I tried to do.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm no different than any other boxer.
That's right.
You understand? I didn't want to be just another boxer. God made me put 20 hours into this. You know? I got way too much invested in this. I can't be just another one of y'all. I got to be something different.
And you can see when you said Ali earlier, right? Like, you evolved what Ali was doing.
He made rhymes, I made songs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I like that.
Hey, you set me a level,
like
I
that.
gotta I gotta raise that level up some more.
I like that.
So if you had to make a what's it called, Mount Rushmore, but current,
Current?
yes,
In boxing?
yes,
I'm gonna go with Terrence Crawford, Alexander Usyk, the Japanese kid, I think his name Inoue,
Yep.
and Tank, Gervonta Davis.
yeah, love Tank. Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Now all time.
All time, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones. I'm gonna put these two in a together photo. I'm gonna put Sugar Ray and Roberto Duran,
All right.
and I'm gonna put Salvador Sanchez.
Shoot, Sugar Ray.
And I'm gonna tell you why I'm putting Sugar
Robinson?
Ray. No, I'm gonna put Leonard. I'm gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna put Leonard and Duran because of this. Leonard was a different kind of specimen, as where, like Robinson, he was flashy, but he had charisma and knew how to dazzle the crowd with his hand speed, right? That's something that people didn't do much. Ray Robinson didn't do that.
He was
a
a
lot.
classy businessman.
You feel me? But he knew how to
Yeah.
dazzle you with that hand speed too. Ray Robinson didn't throw flurries like Sugar Ray Leonard did. So he had everything Ray Robinson had, except he knew how to add to Ray Robinson. So he had to be, to me, got to be better than Ray Robinson because he took everything Ray did and added to it.
Okay.
But Duran, on the other hand, because people forget, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran is who they try to make a Mount Rushmore out of too, right? Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard both started at 147. Marvin Hagler started at 160. Roberto Duran started at 135. Huh? A lightweight that's getting put up there with middleweights. That's getting ranked amongst the top best four welterweights / middleweights of all time. He started as a lightweight. How good does he have to be?
Duran get a lot of respect from a lot of the GOATs.
How good does he have to
100%.
be? You went from lightweight to middleweight doing that?
All right.
He's slick.
Now I got a question for you.
Yep.
You moved up 4 weight classes.
Yep.
What do you think your career looks like if you didn't move up, maybe to heavyweight?
Boring.
Good fucking answer. Good fucking answer.
Never though.
Bro, because I was talking
Never
about
though,
this. We were
'cause
talking
there
about
was so
this.
many good
I'm like,
fights
bro, if he didn't move
beforehand.
up to heavyweight, maybe he does like a 10-year run at fucking at champ. You know what I mean?
That's boring.
But boring. That's a fucking great answer.
Where's history in that?
That's a
boring.
legendary answer.
I don't want that. I need to challenge myself.
You still won the fucking belt at
how
heavyweight.
could I go? Could I go to heavyweight division? Let me see. Show me I can't. Don't tell me I can't. Show me.
Fucking
I
love it.
I mean, that's
I fucking
legendary,
love it.
though.
Dude, that's a
legendary.
goat answer, dude.
I've had trouble winning one championship belt in my life, and he got so many of the same one. He's like,
He got
"Look,
bored.
I gotta go get the other ones.
I mean, that's
So that's the difference to me though today in boxing with me, except Terrence Crawford, with
Yeah.
me and most other boxers. Even Canelo, he tried it, but once he lost, he kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I can't sleep if I don't challenge myself.
Yeah.
I'm not happy just being the world champ. That's not good enough. I need to be the best of everybody. I need to be the best world champ of all the world champs. If I ain't, I'm not happy. You understand me?
Yeah.
That's why they said, even in Floyd early day, when he first came on the scene, nobody argued who was the best pound for pound, Roy Jones Jr. Floyd Mayweather. It wasn't a question. Roy was simply that. You understand? I mean, just what it was. So, but
He
that's
was
what I
bigger
did.
and stronger and had the same speed and
More speed.
more knockouts. And
More speed.
So you have that mentality if you're not
I'm
not
sorry,
growing,
Floyd
you're dying.
was slick. I'm
He
sorry
slick,
that
yeah,
I said
slick.
same
He was
speed,
He
but
was slick. Nah,
yeah, sure, I'll give you that.
If you're growing, if you're not growing, you're dying.
You die. So you got to either grow or go.
Yeah,
And I refuse to go. I got to grow.
I heard
impressive,
that.
bro.
You know that because there's fights that aren't happening. Like people won't, Canelo and Benavidez, and I think that's interesting because Benavidez didn't finish playing. Canelo did,
Yeah,
and and they were talking about Canelo and Terrence Crawford fighting, possibly over in Saudi Arabia or something. And I just was thinking, it'd be great to see Terrence and Benavidez.
Nah, I think Benavidez is a little too tall for him. It's going to be harder for him to reach him. Canelo close to his size. What they don't realize about Benavidez, and that don't mean that he can beat Canelo, but Benavidez is huge for a super middleweight. All right, he's taller than I am. He looked like a heavyweight. You understand me?
He had some trouble with his opponent when he went up in that weight class and he fought a guy his height.
But he still looked like a light heavyweight. I mean, he looked like a cruiserweight, really.
Right.
So for Terrence Crawford, I think that's too big of a jump. But for Canelo started at 154. I think that fight could be made. So I would love to see Terrence against Canelo, but not against Benavidez.
Yeah.
I think that's just too big of a jump.
But we need to see Canelo and Benavidez.
That's what we need.
I mean, we had Benavidez on the show. We had Roy call in. Like, we need
Shout
that
out
fight.
Benavidez,
Yeah,
man.
shout
We
out.
love you, bro.
El Monstruo.
That's the monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he is
we,
a monster.
we need that fight.
monster.
But do you think that's what's holding boxing back at this time?
Of course it is. Like
Gotta be.
you say, look. We've been wanting John Jones and Stipe for how long?
Right.
We getting it now. Anything we want in UFC, we usually get, as far as a fan goes. Right?
Way too late. Way too late.
Well, that one is, but most of the time we get them.
You're right.
And that's not because of UFC.
You're right.
John Jones had a lot of issues too, so you know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that their intent is to give you what the fans want.
Right. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because people keep saying, Aspinall needs to be the guy. But John's been the guy.
Of course he is.
There's been 100, and no disrespect to Aspinall.
Yeah, no,
Great fighter.
whatever.
But there's been 50 Aspinalls, right? There's been one John.
One.
And if John, he took 3 years off. Everybody acting like Stipe's the only one that hadn't been active. John ain't been active either. He took 2 years off, fought Gann, tore a pec, took another year off, right? They're both up in age. They keep talking about Stipe's age. John's 38.
They always
You know what I
gonna
mean?
have another.
There's always a gripe.
Something
I get
to
that.
say.
I get that. But I think John just gets what he wants at this point.
I mean, he should. He deserves it. Look at it. Nobody beat him. What you expect?
100%.
So,
All right. Well, that was fucking easy.
but still, though, even at his age, though, he getting the fight he wants, but it's a fight that the fans been wanting to see.
Right.
So
100%.
the same thing, still get them what they want.
Yeah.
With us, we don't know if Canelo ever get in the ring with Benavidez. We're not sure.
I want to know this because the fans now have they have a big voice, right? It's not that they have a big voice; they just get to be vocal. It don't matter who it is because you got social media going.
Right.
You didn't have social media at that peak when you were there. What difference do you think these fighters now are facing versus what you had to back in the day?
Well, it's not really differences. What has happened is actually social media is what has hurt the game. Because guys can come out now and not be nearly as good as what I was back then and make 5 times the amount of money. Yeah. You understand me? Where back then, you had to be good or nobody knew you. You feel me? So now, being popular is better than being good. Because being popular is what gets you paid now. Not being good. That's why Canelo's saying, "Shit, what am I fighting for? I don't need that. I'm popular already.
Yeah.
I don't need him. He needs me. I'm not fighting him. I can make the same money fighting these guys that I know I can beat. Why would I fight him?"
Yeah, I'll say an interesting one was when I called you about Garcia and Tank. And I just thought, Garcia's a YouTuber, right?
Yep.
And he's got to fight Tank? Like, this is a joke. And you told me, no. Garcia's legit.
He is.
He's legit, right? Obviously, it didn't play out in the Tank fight.
No.
But it damn sure did in the Haney fight, which I would never expected.
All you got to do is let somebody go in there and not respect Ryan's left hook.
Yep.
And they're going to have a rough night.
He had a rough night.
If you respect his hook, you might have a chance with him. But if you don't respect that left hook, you in for a long night.
All right, where do you think Devin goes from this? Because he went from Regis, destroying
he's still
Regis.
undefeated.
Destroying. That is correct.
They got it
on paper.
overturned,
On
took
paper.
the money
but
from
you can't
Ryan.
delete the fucking tapes. You can't delete Instagram. But with that said, where does Devin go from here?
Well, Devin got to go back and regroup. In my opinion, my humble opinion, he got to go get him 1 or 2 fights, get himself back together on a winning streak, then he got to go back and get that from Ryan.
Yeah.
Because you can't go on without that. But what bothered me the most is that they fought 6 times as amateurs.
Yeah, I didn't know they fought 6 times. I thought they fought once or twice as amateurs.
They
That's
fought
crazy.
6 times as amateurs.
That's crazy.
If I fight you 6 times, you going to tell me I don't know your best punch? I don't know what I have to be aware of. If I play a basketball team 3 times, I know who the best player on that team is. I know who the best rebounder is. I know who the best scorer is. I know everything about the team about 3 times.
That's another thing too about Tank and Ryan was the hydration clause on Ryan. He looked, weaker.
Yep. But Tank also played him. See, like you said, some fights won at the press conference. This fight was won at the negotiation table.
Damn right.
That's Mayweather did that too. He won all his fights at the table.
Sugar Ray taught him how to do that though. Sugar Ray started that weight class stuff.
That's a different type of fight.
Yeah, Sugar Ray started that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna bring it up.
So let's get back to UFC, MMA a little bit.
Okay.
So I think recently you said O'Malley was one of the best strikers there. Who else do you like? Do you like anybody else there that you think's could? I'm not saying and go compete with the top tier boxers, but go and compete with mid tier boxers.
It's a couple of guys, and I don't really want to say a lot of names because I don't want to leave nobody out.
Yeah,
there's quite a few of those guys that are really good strikers now. What I've noticed over the last 10 years is that a lot of those UFC guys have learned to really strike, because striking is sometimes what it comes down to. And it hurt O'Malley because he was such a good striker that I think that I just don't know what happened. They say his hip was hurt or whatever, but he was such a good striker that I figured if he could hit the dude, it would be a problem because he's a really good striker. You understand me? And just seeing that makes me know that he probably don't focus on his ground game as much. But when you fight those guys that come from that Eastern Bloc, you gotta have a ground game. They all them idolize Khabib.
Yeah.
They all come here with Khabib's mindset, his fighting style. If you fight one of them, get ready to go to the ground. Khabib, daddy's making wrestler a bear. No, for real. You know that.
I know.
A bear.
Ridiculous, but
so,
yes.
Come on now.
I recently saw something about Khabib was when he fought this Brazilian, and they said that Khabib technically he lost that fight. Also, they can put things like that in a short clip on Instagram or something, a video you're watching. Oh, put these highlights, and I guess maybe I didn't see that Khabib might have controlled some moments. Or, see, the guy took Khabib down. All of Khabib's takedowns failed in the fight. Maybe he held him up against the fence. I don't know what he did, but the way they described it, I mean, there's always going to be some hateful videos out there saying something, but...
When you think of the guy's name, though, let me know, because I want to go back and look at that fight, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back and look at it, the whole thing myself. I just saw it the other day, but I'll look it up after this. And, I for a while there, I was... wanting to be this John Jones of fighting. When I got my second start, I went to bare knuckle, and I was having all this success and making some money, and I'm still 5-0 in bare knuckle, so I'm happy about that. But I do feel like I had some relief that I didn't have to be this guy anymore. This character that people seem to think is just Mike Perry is just this crazy guy all the time. No matter where you go in life, if you meet Mike Perry, it's gonna be crazy. So like as chill as you are, obviously you're a grown man now. But like, what was it? Were you always partying back then, or was that just for the show on the fight, or were you a character at times?
To the contrary, I never was really a partier. I never drank.
Okay.
I never smoked. I was just a guy that knew how to give people what they wanted to see or wanted to bring you more than you wanted to see. My job, I wasn't a partier. I was an entertainer. I had to be able to, I should be able to beat them as many hours as I got in the gym. I should be able to beat them and entertain them while I'm beating them. And I'm going to start entertaining them before I ever go in there to beat him. To show him and them, that's how much confidence I got that I'm gonna beat him.
How many miles did you run when you was in the middle of it?
Yeah, depends, because we ran 3 to 5 miles a day every day when I was a kid. When I started, when I got older, I started learning to do it different. I run between 2 and 5 miles, but I never do the same thing every day, because every fight not gonna go the same. You're not gonna use the same breath or the same amount of energy in every fight. So you got to keep your body used to being able to change.
But when you were competing, you were running every day.
2 to 5 miles every day.
You always run
Every day, except Sunday, except Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes they run on Saturday. Sometimes they run on Saturday.
The weekdays.
Yeah, just the weekdays. Yeah. But I did too much then because that's why my knees are so messed up now. But I ran and I played basketball every day. And he know how basketball went back in those days. If you played basketball, you played basketball. It wasn't like you went there and messed around a game or two. You no. We played for hours.
100%.
You understand me? So I played basketball, real basketball, hours of basketball.
Yeah.
And that what kept me also in shape, but also taught me how to stay in the anticipation mode. Because to make a pass, a good pass in basketball, you got to see it before he opens up, just like in football.
Shit, pickup games, if you didn't lose, you might play for 6 hours straight.
Hello? and when you get on the court to play the full court game, you better not lose, because if you lose, you might not get
back in there. You damn right.
Basketball was real back then. It ain't real now like it used to be. It was real back then.
Yeah, I didn't make the team in Flint, man. They was 14 full beers dunking the ball.
You feel me?
I didn't make the team.
Buddy, that's what I played with too, believe me. Let's talk about this a little bit. So, Dirty Boxing Championship. Been in the works for a year. Now finally coming to fruition. You and I talked about it many, many months ago. We're now ready to host our first private event. It's been fully announced. Completely different sport. Sport's been approved by the Florida Commission. First time with this rule set. The rule set has been widely accepted. People seem to be very excited about it. I don't think we've said this publicly, but you're a part owner of the company, right. as well as Mike, myself, the Kawas, Adam Kovacs, and a couple of other people that we haven't announced as well. So let's jump into dirty boxing a little bit. So rule set is stand up only, right? So we said, all right. I remember us sitting around the office in Miami and trying to come up with this rule set. And we said, what's exciting to fans, especially casual fans, that MMA doesn't provide, maybe that boxing doesn't provide, or it can be added to, right? And so we came up with this rule set. And it's striking only, but it's any part of the arm. Yep. So it's punches, open palm, slaps, elbows, spinning back fist, spinning elbows. But it takes away the kicking, it takes away the grappling, it takes away the wrestling, it takes away the jiu-jitsu. And if you knock somebody down, there's no standing count. Mm-hmm. So you can, as long as you got both feet planted on the ground, you can finish somebody, with punches. Right. So it's a fire rule set. I want to know your thoughts on the rule set itself and what maybe niche it fills within the market there.
My only thing I'm concerned about, there's two things I'm most concerned about. The elbow thing, we got to look at it and see how that goes, because the elbow is drastic, but a lot of guys, if you truly know how to punch, you're taught to follow through with your elbow anyway. So that shouldn't be too bad. The only other thing is that because the glove has a little bit more of a surface on it, the gloves seem to put people unconscious a little bit quicker than the bare knuckle, right? So that's why you see those guys take so much with the bare knuckle. So with that being said, we got to watch and see how many guys get knocked unconscious with the glove and how many don't. Because what I don't like, and I don't like this about no sport, is that people can hit a guy who's already unconscious.
Yeah.
Why?
I agree.
So I don't like that in no sport, because a guy who's unconscious, he can't defend himself. Why would you take advantage of a guy that's unconscious? You understand where I'm coming from?
100%.
So it's like, for me, I don't want a sport that I'm involved with to allow people to abuse a person while he's unconscious.
But there's been so many fights in MMA where guys are hit pretty good, and the fight turn around.
I'm not saying
maybe the guy didn't go for the kill.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, if you see a guy get knocked unconscious,
yes,
the ref should stop it right there.
Ref's got to stop it.
Don't let him jump down and beat on that guy that's unconscious. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Now, if the guy goes down and he gets his hand up and cover himself, go ahead.
Yeah. I've also seen guys get woken up.
I don't want to see that, though.
Hey, instead of making a fight. What?
All right, but think about this, too, because this needs to be understood. The standing count potentially does more harm in the long run than a flat-out knockout. Because you're getting concussed, you get knocked down, you get stood back up, you can touch your gloves together, you go back in, you get concussed again. This happens 3 or 4 times throughout a fight, right? And potentially longer-term brain damage through that aspect.
Potentially, but like he said, if you're allowed to get up and get your conscience back, guys will come back and won from that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody woke up off that floor too often and won.
No.
You understand me? Once you go to sleep, you ain't gonna get up off that floor and win. That's usually over with. You feel me? You may well come at the next time.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that I do understand that part of it too. But for me, if you get unconscious, you lose. That's it.
100%.
You got to see. That reminds me, man. I have to show it to you.
Okay.
The bare knuckle champion. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about you, David Mundell. He knocked my ass down a couple times, and I got up and I flatlined that motherfucker. And it was a great moment in my life. I was so happy about that.
And see, because he didn't get unconscious, it caused him the best moment of his life.
Yeah.
So unless a guy's unconscious, you let him keep fighting.
I was damn near unconscious.
Damn near
I don't know
though.
what happened.
Damn near though.
But
I hate watching people get beat on
when
they're
unconscious.
out, man.
I
There's
don't
nothing
like that.
worse.
That
Like you
bothers
just feel,
me.
no, 100%, same thing.
I love every sport,
Same
but I don't
thing.
like that.
But what excites me about dirty boxing is because it's a different rule set, it gives people from different arts a chance. Yep. So now we get to see people have tried to do it in the past, right? But they always put on these circus events to do so, right? Like Muay Thai versus a boxer, or Muay Thai versus a MMA guy. But they get to use their own skill set, and it really don't work. With this, you're putting a certain skill set out there that every art form has, right? Whether you're karate, Muay Thai, MMA, boxing, whatever, you punch, right? So now it gives us a chance to really see, with slight variation, what's the best.
It's still gonna come down to the smarter or the more thoughtful individual who can put it together the best. Because there are gonna be people who are like for instance, in a small ring like that, it would have been torturous for anybody to dirty fight with Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
Would have been torturous. But you get enough room where you can move around him and fight him, now you make it different. That's how Sugar Ray made him quit. So it's like, it's going to be about who can use their skill set or who can figure out how to deal with the other guy. It's not about the sets, because the sets going to all come out in the wash. Everybody can elbow, everybody can punch. But once you get to that point, it's going to be about who know how to use their skill set to outmaneuver or out-execute the other guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to fight in it at some point.
We already know that.
Mike wants to fight in everything.
We already know that.
We got to blow it up, man.
That's something new. I want to fight in duh.
We were on the boat today, and he made Charlie slap him.
See?
He said, Charlie, slap the fuck out of me. See if you can do it.
He couldn't do it. I mean, he tried, but like it was a weak slap.
He tried to get me to, and I was like, nah, man, I ain't slapping you.
I'm with it.
I ain't slapping you. I mean, I might right now.
And I'm still, because
maybe Roy will slap you right now.
I'm not slapping.
Punching, man. I've seen some people. There's been some famous fighters that 10 years down the road they can't even speak no more.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate. I definitely, amen. I mean, but you was knocking more heads than I was knocking you. I've been knocked. They be knocking me. I be hit. I be smiling. I be like, yeah. So God bless me with a chin for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate to still be able to speak sentences and things like that. Fighting is tough on some of these guys' brains, unfortunately.
But it's part of the game. You know this going in. You know this going in. You know what the inherent risk is. That's why people still get in it, right?
Well,
whether it's go ahead.
What you just said is, I'm glad you said that, because you're right. We do know what the risk is. So just because we get old don't mean, we old now we scared of the risk. No, hell we not.
No.
It's the same risk. I mean, it's just a matter of how we feel about getting in shape and doing it. But it's the same risk whether you young or old. Some guys got killed even in their primes or before their prime. It doesn't really matter. But where people make the mistake at, to me, in boxing is that every blow you take, your head counts, whether you're in training or whether you're in a real fight. They think training don't count. Yes, it does. That's where most of those guys get messed up at. I met Jimmy Young when I was 17. Jimmy Young could hardly talk. Jimmy Young pulled me to the side, and I think this was God speaking through Jimmy Young. He said, hey, son, let me tell you something. He said, you see how I am right now? He said, this didn't happen to me in the boxing ring in fights. He said, this happened to me in sparring. He said, when I was 16, they made me spar with Joe Frazier every day from when I was 16 to 21. That's what messed me up. I didn't get hit in pro fights. George Foreman couldn't hit me. That's why I and Muhammad Ali was the only two people to beat George Foreman in his day. George couldn't hit Jimmy Young. He couldn't hit Ali. But Ali took on the gloves. No, Jimmy Young didn't take that. Jimmy Young just stayed away from an outboxer.
Yeah.
I mean, it still cut up to Ali too.
You feel me? But exactly.
I wonder what he would say it was from.
No, same thing. Know how I know? Know how I know? In training, Ali would only do this and let the guys bang on him. Well, if they bang on you, even this hitting your head,
Of course, the impact.
Over and over.
and your head is bigger because you got a headgear on.
Yeah.
And the gloves are bigger than your sparring. But if a guy can punch, you feel in 16 ounces like you feel in 8 ounces.
Yeah.
It don't matter. So it's the same jarring of the brain. So when you keep sparring, then what I hate worse is guys that are put lighter guys in with big guys and let them go all out.
Yeah.
You're ruining his career. He ain't gonna take for so much. You're ruining his career. So you got to be careful how much sparring you let your guys do in boxing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about children. I was thinking about my son and how I want to teach him. I want him to have self-defense capabilities.
Of course.
I want him to do mitts and pads. I want him to do boxing, but no contact for ever. For a long time, no contact. Just sparring and technical drills. And I mean, even that, I have to be careful with who he's technically drilling with. No contact. But I mean, he'll still walk around the house and hit his head on the counter.
Well, that's cool. That's
dang.
That's gonna happen to us though. That's gonna happen to everybody. But that's the uncontrolled part. We can't control that part. But it's enough uncontrolled that's gonna happen anyway. Why we gonna abuse the control part too? Let's not do that.
I agree. And that's one thing when I was training with you that I really noticed was you weren't get in there and spar 24/7.
No, you can't.
There's
do
no
that.
need.
And if I can't teach you technique,
What's the point? You're going to get
You
drilled
feel
in fucking sparring anyway.
and I'm not raising a tough guy. I'm trying to raise a smart guy.
That's right.
I'm trying to teach you got to be smart, not tough. You be tough when necessary.
Yeah.
If it ain't necessary, let's be smart. We're gonna live longer. We can think longer. We still can speak sentences longer. But we go to head on with everybody. We're gonna mess ourselves up. That's stupid.
No, that's great. I was thinking about putting that on the shirt as you said it. I was trying to re-say it in my head. I couldn't think it to be tough, be smart.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't be smart. Be tough. You said something, but that wasn't it.
We'll
That
just
wasn't
play.
the
We'll
first
just
go.
put
I
dot,
gotta
dot,
watch
dot.
it back and see what he
We'll
said.
just put dot,
it
dot, dot
shirt.
on the bottom.
Oh man. Well, back to dirty boxing, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna have. So I've seen some fans say, "Oh, it's Muay Thai without kicks." No, okay, it's boxing with elbows. Could you imagine Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali throwing big punches and then throwing some elbows in the clinch, something like that?
And spinning back fists.
Spinning moves, and boxing in the clinch,
But honestly,
and ground and pound.
But honestly, it is old school boxing. It's getting in there, it's getting them up against the ropes, it's throwing a forearm, it's throwing an elbow when you need to. You know what I mean? It is old
1905.
school boxing. Yeah, it's early 1900s boxing. That's what it was.
What was his name? Jack.
Dirty
Jack
boxing
Johnson.
is
Jack Johnson.
yeah, that's
Jack
right.
Johnson.
That's right.
Jack Johnson.
Yeah, Jack
That's
Johnson.
What it was. That's what it was.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to work with you guys on it. I'm excited to work with everybody else we've got on the team on it. I think it's going to be a huge success. I think the demand is there because it's not as violent as it's as violent, but I guess it's more consumable than
Yes.
bare knuckle.
Yes.
But it's as violent, probably.
For me, I think it's good. I think right now, with the way that the world is working, there's so many outlets that are looking for content. So to bring something new to the table is awesome for me.
Yeah.
Because now we can go bring something that everybody hasn't seen yet.
That's right.
And like I said, everybody's looking for content. Here's a way now that the MMA, the boxers, and the Muay Thai guys all can compete again. You understand me? And we see what happens.
And we want to give a lane to these fighters. We care about these fighters. As you heard, we care about the brain impact, the training, the hard work, the effort put in. And, we want to make sure we have safe shows and entertaining shows where everyone and we give room for everyone so that some stars can be born. That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
Give them a lane to go to the top.
Anything you want to plug, brother, before you go?
No, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm liking that. I'm with the All the Smoke thing now, too. So with the Paul Pierce and
Okay, I didn't know we could announce that.
Stacks,
All right.
going out,
Well, go ahead and tell them.
With that, too. So I'm doing the All the Smoke with them and with Andre Ward. So that's a beautiful thing. Got a couple fighters fighting coming up. James Wilkins fighting October 5th in Brownsville, Georgia. Then I got him and Mandeep fighting the Cayman Islands in November for a world title. Got Jalapeno just showed up on the scene 2 nights ago in Washington. A guy named Dominique Roundtree, 126-pounder. Be on the lookout for him. He's something new and something special.
Is he related to Khalil? Do you know?
No, I don't know if he related to him or not.
But you know Khalil.
Yeah, I know Khalil.
Okay.
But I don't know if he related to him or not.
All right. Roy, a pleasure, as always.
Thank you, my brother.
Absolutely,
My man.
brother.
Thank you, brother. Same here, brother. Thank you.
It's an honor
Thank
to be
y'all.
sitting here with you, sir.
Thank y'all, my brother.
God bless you,
Billy
man.
Grant. And I'm going to tell y'all one more thing. That what y'all don't realize. You never know in life who God going to send to inspire you. Had I not seen this guy train and do what he did when he did it, I'd never step back in the ring and fought Anthony Pettis because I would have thought, you 54, you too old. When this guy showed that he could dedicate himself for 6 weeks, come get ready for a fight, and complete a 3-round amateur fight, 3-minute rounds, that even inspired me. So thank you again, brother.
My man.
Thank you again.
Hey,
Thank you again.
I was hoping somebody else would get to hear this because I'm telling you, we stepped off the plane for Milwaukee and he turned around and told me that.
Yep, that's the facts.
And I went,
That's facts. And
I was like, let me grab my camera real quick. I got to have you say that to somebody besides me.
That's facts. That's facts.
Well, let
Bro,
me say what,
that is like an all-time fucking moment
that's a
quote for my
compliment right
life.
there, man.
That
For
is a
real.
fact.
Yeah.
compliment.
real.
Roy's just a nice guy, man.
Roy keep it real, cause like you said,
That's
I told
right.
him that before.
Roy
and
keeps it real.
I know it's just when it's real, it's gonna come out of me, and that's just what
right.
it is. So
Man, I appreciate you. I love you. You're a real one.
thank you.
And sign us off, dog.
Overdogs Podcast, in the house with the legend, Roy Jones Jr. Such an honor, man. Thank you for watching.